Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, before I get into talking about the Division 2, here's the thing, because I know people are going to try to say that it's a skill issue because they can't think of anything else to say. So they just, when a person talks about their favorite game, the first thing that they, and especially if it's in a bad way, the first thing that they want to say, oh, sounds like you're having a skill issue. I've been playing this game, I wouldn't say every day, but I have to say out of all of the games that I have on my Steam library, my Xbox library, I have to say PlayStation is probably the only platform that hadn't really put a whole lot of hours into this game. But I have put, out of all of the games that I have on both, well, not Steam, just on my gaming PC, because I bought the game through Ubisoft Connect. But, no, on PC and Xbox, I probably have to say this is the one game that I put the most amount of hours into. You know, and I had to say, like, all together, yeah, it's probably the most played game. And I feel like I played this game more than the Division 1. And in my opinion, the Division 1 is a much more better game, because that was at a time when Ubisoft wasn't trying to be like other companies. They actually was on a roll when they came out with the Division 1, because the year prior, yes, they came out with their more successful game, Rainbow Six Siege. That very next year, they came out with the Division. Year after that, they came out with Ghost Recon Wildlands. I think, yeah, because that game came out in 2017. Yeah. So it did come out, and I'm like, man, Ubisoft, you guys is on a roll. Keep it up. Then, as the years went on, Rainbow Six Siege started to grow a little bit more. More people were getting more involved with that game. A whole community got built off of that game. And you know what? That's one thing that I will say. The good thing that did come out of Rainbow Six Siege was the community. I made friends. There were people that were shouting me out from this community. Big content creators that were showing me love. So that's the one thing that I will say that I will be forever grateful for when it comes down to Rainbow Six Siege, is the community. But at the same time, that game ruined Ubisoft. Because I think what they were trying to do is create games that had that same momentum as Rainbow Six Siege. And that's the thing about it. Rainbow Six Siege is the best, worst game of all time. It's the best because it's such a easy, simple, affordable game to play. You could play it on any console, platform, whatever you have. I'm pretty sure they probably got a mobile version of this game. You get you a handheld Xbox, you can play it on there. If you get you a regular Xbox, PlayStation, you can play it on there. Get you a gaming PC, it ain't even got to be an expensive gaming PC. You can play it on there. I'm trying to think. It'll probably be in a matter of time before we look up. They're going to be like Rainbow Six Siege coming to the Nintendo Switch too. They put way too much time and attention in Rainbow Six Siege, and it really left a lot of games in the dust. The one game that I will be talking on today, the Division 2. In my opinion, the Division 2, done correctly, best game of all time. I don't care what anybody says. People can say, oh no, this game is the best game of all time. That game is the best game of all time. No. The Division 2, in my opinion, it is one of the best games, if not the best games of all time, if done correctly. The reason why I say if done correctly, because the way that Ubisoft went about that game, yeah, when it very first came out, oh, I was all like, we got some more Division content. This is the best thing ever, because I put so much time into the Division 1 when it came out. I was playing that game left and right. That was the one game where I had to say it really brought me into gaming, because I had to say, if there wasn't no games like the Division, I really don't know where I would be at right now when it comes down to gaming. I don't think I would probably be as into gaming as there was Destiny. I take that back. Destiny was good, but the Division, that game was like, it was really good. Like, I really did like the Division. That was a game where, yeah, even went as far as to write a whole story based off of the Division. And I'm like, man, I would love to see the Division in 2. That's the one movie where I'm like, fam, I'm pretty much a nerd when it comes to the Division content and stuff, because I write a story. If they were making a movie about the Division, because I think they did say they were going to have Jake Gyllenhaal playing there, and I'm like, man, I have me have a guest appearance, an Easter egg, something, I don't know, but I'm like, or even if it's going based off of the story that I wrote, fam, my thing is this, I'm like, I want the Division movie to happen. I'm always going to be a Division fan, but if it was maybe done by a different company. And that's why I was so happy when they announced the day before, because I was like, we might get a proper Division video game, and I'm going to talk on the zombie stuff with the Division, because I just think it's the most silliest thing ever. But I'm going to get into the gameplay and all that stuff, I guess, for somebody that doesn't really know too much about the Division. But speaking from a fan's point of view and stuff, yeah, it's like the Division, and that's I'll have to say that's another game where it's like it's the best worst game of all time, because it's the best because I'm all like just how the gameplay is ran. Like it's one of those things where it's like they change it up, they do things differently, they got all these different modes and different stuff that you can do in the game. The reason why I say it's the worst game is because it ain't even so much as the difficulty of the game. It's just that the stuff that they give you to try to match up with the difficulty of the game. And that's the thing. They don't give you anything good. Like, you'll get some good things here and there, but for the most part, it's something where it's like you really, and I mean really, have to be putting some hours into this game. And that's the thing where I'm like, it confuses me, because that this game has a low player count. That it's not a popular game. Why would you have it set up where the majority of the modes that are in the game, like it's the PvP modes, okay, I can understand that, but you have the raids and the operations and the incursions, and I'm trying to think of some other stuff in there. Just like the modes that require multiple people. Why not? And so no, the crazy thing about it is that I guess so in the last season they had this companion update where you can have AI or NPC Division agents with you. I missed that. I had missed that. Did I say update? I meant season. They had it where it was a part of a season, and that I have to say that was when the downfall of the Division happened, was when they added a season pass to the game. And that's the thing. Who asked for a season pass? Ubisoft. Because I know I didn't. If they would have asked me, would you like to have a season pass in this game? No, because I know what a season pass can do to a video game, and it's going to ruin it. For an example, Destiny. Destiny 2, it was such a good game. When they added that season pass, it just seemed like it went downhill. But when you look at a lot of different games out there that has these season passes and battle passes and just overall passes and stuff, Fortnite, in my opinion, is the only game that does it correctly. And then they have it set up on some stuff where it's like if you're subscribed to Xbox Game Pass, that you get the Fortnite like pass thing or whatever. It's this like Fortnite pass that comes with the Xbox Game Pass, where you pretty much ain't even got to put no money into the game. All you just got to do is just be playing it and stuff. So it's like you could go and work the whole season and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, it's games like that. You did it correctly, because it's like you looked at your options and was like, okay, people are probably not just going to be subscribing to no Fortnite Pass by itself. But if we add it to the Xbox Game Pass, oh, we got ourselves a game. We back in business. So Fortnite, they trying to stay above water. I can respect that with them. Ubisoft, on the other hand, it's like, and the thing is this, you would think that, okay, it seems like that they were trying to go kind of in the route of PlayStation, but I'm saying PlayStation, Xbox Game Pass, there's so many different options, or just not even have a season pass feature in the game. But here's the thing, dog, because I feel like I'm kind of jumping the gun. I ain't really get a chance to really explain what the Division 2 is. So just, I guess, to explain it to somebody that doesn't really know too much about the game. So the Division 2 is a game where, so the story is pretty much a pandemic happens. There's this was it a disease, or it was like some chemical that like it pretty much went across, I think it was across the whole world, but overall like wiped out the planet. I know at least the two areas that they do have you go at mainly is New York and Washington DC. So in the Division 1 takes place all across New York. The Division 2 takes place in Washington DC, and then they have like some hints of New York, because they was like the Warlords of New York, where it's like I don't know how to really describe how that New York is in that game, but it's different from the New York in the Division 1. The Division 1, in my opinion, that was the best New York map of all time, and I ain't never even been to New York, but if it looks anything like how they had it looking in the Division 2 or in the Division 1, I gotta go to New York one day. But no, so they have it set up where the map is, I think it's a little bit bigger in the Division. If not, it's probably roughly the same size, the two maps and stuff. But overall though, yeah, it's a sequel to the Division 1. It ain't really one of those sequels where it's like you gotta play the first one in order to understand the second one. It's like a gameplay loop of, hey, go into this building, kill these bad guys. That's the whole entire game. An occasional hack this computer, and it ain't really hacking. All you just gotta do is just hold down the F button for a couple of seconds, and then yeah, your character types on the computer. The screen flashes or does whatever and things. But yeah, it's the same gameplay loop of go in this building, kill these bad guys, or go to this street and kill these bad guys. And then they also have it where there's like control points where it's like a territorial thing where it's like, okay, go there, kill these bad guys, take over their territory. Then they have like some hostage missions, some bounty missions. They got its PvP content, a lot of different PvE content. They also have an extraction shooter mode. Like the Division is the ultimate Division agent simulator. Like, let's say if the Division was a movie, the Division video games, like, yeah, it's the ultimate Division simulator. They have it where you're fighting at rogue agents at time. You're fighting a bunch of different enemies, from the bosses to just the random enemies and stuff. Like, I mean, the game has a lot going on, right? But the things that make that game bad is, for one, the shooting, mechanics and stuff in the game. I think that would be the best way of calling, or the best name to call it and stuff. But so the shooting mechanics, like overall, like how you shoot and kill an enemy, it's not like how, I guess, if you were to play the campaign mode in Call of Duty. So if you're shooting at a guy and you shoot them in the head and stuff, they don't have it set up in the Division where if you shoot somebody in the head or in the body, that they're gonna immediately die. Like how, like, yeah, so for an example, if you have like a 50 caliber sniper rifle or something in there, like there's this one sniper rifle that I do have where it's like it can kill them relatively fast and things, but depending on what kind of enemy it is, so like let's say it's a quote unquote boss enemy, which is overall a person and stuff, and just follow me on what I'm talking about, all right, because it's all going to make sense at some point, what I'm overall saying and stuff. But overall, because there's one particular mode that I would have loved for it to be involved in the Division, but Ubisoft said that it wasn't realistic enough. So just follow me on what I'm saying. So you can shoot the boss, right? And that's the thing. The Division, it's a human game. There's no monsters. There's no, like, the bosses aren't like this big giant, disfigured. It's a person. It's just a 7 foot tall person with a lot of armor on. So and then on top of it, but it's like, it ain't even really that. It just looks like he just wearing some like puffy clothes and things. So it ain't really, I guess, realistic and stuff, but at the same time, it's like they are trying to keep it realistic. But the shooting mechanics, getting back to that, when shooting the enemies in the game, depending on what weapon you have and what difficulty you have it on. So if you have it on the normal difficulty, shooting enemies in that game is no problem. There's at times where I be shooting enemies, like there's the one weapon that I got, and I was like, hey, this weapon is actually good. It's a rifle, and it be doing some damage. And what's crazy is that I don't even think it's supposed to be an automatic rifle, but it shoots out like an automatic rifle. Like it's on full auto and things. But they usually, the rifle weapons, they have it where it's like a single shot type weapon and stuff, where you gotta like continuously keep pressing the button and things to shoot the enemies and stuff. But no, they have it set up on this one where it's like it's a full auto type weapon, but it does a lot of damage. I think it does like over 200,000 damage or something like that. So it's a pretty powerful weapon. And but no, so the thing is this: if you're playing it on normal, you're taking enemies out like it's you're a tank, like you're a Terminator and things. Like there's no way possible for them to stop you. Normal, it's easier for you. Then when you switch it to hard, it's still easy, but it's like a slightly more difficult. They might spawn a little bit more enemies and stuff. Then when you bump the difficulties up a little bit more to like legendary, challenging, heroic, stuff like that, that's when the game is just unplayable. Now, my thing is this, right? You would think that with heroic and stuff like that, like the hardest difficulty, you would just have to be smart on where you're at. Like the enemies can kill you a little bit faster, but it should be a thing where you can also kill the enemies a little bit faster, right? Now, they didn't add that until they recently came out with this new mode called Realism or something like that, Realistic or whatever it's called. But and even then still, it doesn't really feel realistic. Like the movements and the shooting mechanics and the deaths and all that, it doesn't feel realistic, you know? But here's the thing though, right? So the one thing, and maybe I'm just crazy. I could have sworn they came out with a trailer and they hinted to some zombie content in the game. I feel like that there was a trailer. If I ever do find that trailer, or if I ever do find any information regarding that, I'm telling you right now, I am putting Ubisoft on blast. But I feel like that they hinted to a zombie mode in The Division 1. It never happened. They came out with some other stuff in the game, and then they just left it alone. And then next thing you know, The Division 2 came out. Now, I love zombie video games. I love Left 4 Dead. I love Dead Rising. I love what are some other Call of Duty zombies. Even when they had that Undead Nightmare in Red Dead Redemption, I'm like, fam, it was like I had to say that was probably one of my favorite things to do with Red Dead Redemption was that they had the Horde mode. I remember me and my friends, we would just go and we would just we would play that. We would play Call of Duty Zombies. Like, that's the one thing I have to say that keeps my friendship alive in video games is a zombie mode. So my thing is this, right? There would have been nothing wrong if they decided to add a zombie mode into the game, talking on The Division 2. But from what I read, they said the reason why they would never add a zombie mode into The Division 2 is because it's not realistic and they want to make the game realistic. But it's realistic to have a light machine gun where it's, in most cases and situations, if you're firing 200 bullets into a person, their body is going to be shredded. Their body is going to be gone. There ain't going to be no armor strong enough to, especially if it's like some guys where you can see that they don't really have a whole lot of armor on. It ain't gonna be like, no, oh, you shoot at them, or no. So pretty much how they have it set up, yeah, you can shoot at them one time. All that's just gonna do is scare them. And then it'll pretty much take, like, depending on what enemy it is and what difficulty you're playing on. And even if you are playing on the normal difficulty, no. So they have it set up where it gets a little bit more challenging to kill the enemies in there with the same weapon that you was using before to kill the enemies. That's realistic. But a zombie mode in the game isn't. Explain that to me, Ubisoft, because that's one of those things where I'm all like, I will never understand why you want to add a money system into this game, but you don't want to add a zombie mode. Even it could be a zombie horde mode, or even on some stuff where it's in. But the thing is this: we almost had zombies in The Division, because there was a video game that was coming out called The Day Before, and that was supposed to be it. That was supposed to be The Division with zombies, and I'm like, oh man, I cannot wait for that game to come out. And I think we all know what had happened when that game came out. It bombed. So I'm like, okay, Ubisoft, your chance, your opportunity. Come out with the zombie mode in the video game. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. We ain't gonna look at, and you know what? The thing is this: you could do it like this. Have it where it's called the Dead Division or something like that, right? Or whatever name you guys want to give it. But yeah, just call it the Dead Division. There are zombie division agents. There are and I'm not saying, have it where they rolling zombie, ball things at you, the bomb ball, whatever they want to call it and stuff, or got some zombie drone. No, have it where it is just a normal zombie mode. Have it if you want to have it where the zombies run, cool. Have it where the zombies run. I don't mind that. But if you want to have it where it's like some like Walking Dead, where they ain't really walking, but they ain't really like running either. They kind of like they got like a little pep in they step and stuff. Whatever the case is, you can add any type. Just don't go crazy with it. Don't be like no Call of Duty Zombies where you guys got zombie spiders and zombie bears and stuff like that. No, just have like some just zombies. But no, just like how you guys have it where you can change the global difficulty and stuff. Have it where it's okay, normal, hard, legendary, challenging, heroic, and then normal zombies. Normal, or hard zombies, or legendary zombies, or heroic zombies and stuff, where, yeah, and then it's like, it just gets a little bit more challenging to, take them out and stuff. but there would be nothing if there was all these other games. And my thing is this, Red Dead Redemption, I had to say that was probably the most realistic game out of all the zombie games that I named off. Like Dead Rising, Dead Island, Dying Light, all them different games, they all have it where it's like a little bit unrealistic with the zombie modes and stuff. Red Dead Redemption, in my opinion, that was probably the only game that really had like a realistic zombie situation. Because when I watched the like movies like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, I'm trying to think of some other ones, The Walking Dead, like they have it where it's like the zombies ain't like no big old giant zombie that's throwing up on you and stuff. No, just have some normal zombies. You ain't got to go above and beyond with the zombies. Just have some normal zombies, bro. And my thing is this, what would be wrong if you guys added a zombie mode into the game? Explain that. Because my thing is this, if you guys done add it, you have it where there's one of the, like not missions, but one of the modes in the game. So for those that don't play it, there's this mode in there called the Summit, where you're going through this building with 100 floors and you're just killing a bunch of different enemies. Now, realistically, if you make it up to like the 40th or 50th floor, even probably less floors than that, I think that it definitely will be a thing where if the enemies know that, okay, this guy just went through 20 to 30 floors, he killed off all of those guys down there, and they at least had to have been 100 guys that he killed, we're going to surrender. They're like, this man, no, and they're shooting at him and they ain't doing nothing. We are going to surrender. Realistically, that's what a person would do. You know, they're not going to be like, oh, let me. And then that's another thing, too. Look, I can really talk on all the unrealistic things that be happening in the Division. The one thing that I had to say that's so unrealistic. So let's say you run up on a gang of enemies, right? They're walking down the street. Let's say they're transferring some food to one of the control points that they've taken over, right? So they're walking down the street. You hide behind a car. You get to shooting at them. So instead of them running for cover, they run directly at you while you're shooting at them. And then they just walk around the car, shoot you a couple of times, and then you're dead. Explain to me how that's realistic. That's what I mean by you guys, your definition of realistic is all the way off. You might want to look up the definition of realistic and see realistic video games. Because when I think of realistic video games, the one game that I can think of just right off of the top of the dome, Gray Zone Warfare. That's a realistic game. They have it where they pinpoint where you've been shot at, and your body has it where your character can get hungry. They could get dehydrated. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that they got going on in that game. That's a realistic video game. I'm trying to think of some other realistic. Yeah, there's probably a lot of different games that are realistic, but the Division, that's probably the most unrealistic, realistic video game out there. Because like the visuals and all that stuff, like how you guys got trash and all the rats running, roaches all over the place. Yeah, stuff that like that's realistic looking. But as far as realistic gameplay, all the way off. So that's why I'm like, fam, Ubisoft, you guys should not be talking about stuff being realistic and not being realistic and stuff. No, I ain't hearing that with you guys. If you can add, my thing is this, if you can add a season pass, if you can add all these other different things that nobody didn't ask for, and then have the loot system all messed up, what else? Because, yeah, the thing is this, you can play a mission time after time after time, over and over and over again on the hardest difficulty with the directives turned on, and the directives are just pretty much like a more challenging way of playing it. I don't know if I had said that already, because I have done numerous takes of this podcast episode. But anyways, you can play it and they'll have it set up where it's like it's only a 7% chance of you getting whatever weapon that you're trying to get. If not, probably even a more lesser percentage. So at the end of the day, I'm like, man, Ubisoft, it's you guys either need to fix the game that you got going on right now or figure out some sort of way they leave it up to the fans or something. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, if you guys did the same thing like how Rockstar did with their game and allow mod support, bro, I'm telling you right now, I feel like that with the fans, there's definitely a lot of different things that can be included into the game. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.